And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out, let's roll out.
What's up, y'all? This is Food, Fitness, and Fun with my main man,
Me.
DRE.
What's good?
I'm about to say you don't want to say hello to the
What's
folks.
good? How's everybody doing out there?
That was funny. Little super
Yeah.
long pause. And I am JD, aka He Who Pods, and we are back once again, right on time to give y'all some fun stuff. Hopefully, so we're gonna dive right in, and Dre's got a sponsored by for us. Take it away,
Hey, how
Dre.
y'all doing? All right. So today's sponsored by is a pescatarian meal, which consists of
Okay.
whiting fish, some yellow rice,
Okay.
broccoli with just a little bit of cheese on there. Quick
Okay.
dish. I put 2 pieces of fish on there. You know, I'm all about the protein. So this is most of my meals, as I've told you guys before. I'm a 10, 15-minute type person. So, fish is very, especially white fish. White fish is very low in calories, but high in protein. So,
Mm.
if you're a person that's trying to build muscle, but you want to not get a lot of fat, sometimes red meat, things like that have a lot of fat in there. White fish is a great way to have low calories, high protein. Um, Rice is just a little bit of carbs, just pretty much a handful. That's pretty much all I need. And broccoli with a little bit of cheese, just to give a little bit of flavor. Not a lot. I don't smother it with cheese. I just put a little bit on there.
Right. Just a little
Yeah, that's it.
sprinkle.
Just to give a little flavor. But I keep it. Everything is probably about 300 calories altogether. So yeah,
Okay. Did you do your food measuring
I
thing?
did, but I didn't actually. I didn't put it into the. I usually use my Fitness Pal when I do it, but I haven't been doing it because I've
Yep.
been doing it a lot of it in my head because I've been doing it so much. I really pretty much know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I would say if I had to guesstimate anywhere between 300 to 500 calories. There's no more than 500 calories there. You know. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And it's filling. You know what I'm saying? And for me, right now, I just want low calories, high protein, build muscle, and give me that energy to hit the next workout, basically.
Right. And looking at it, your plate looks pretty balanced. You got, a little bit of everything up
Yeah.
there. It's not like, it's mostly one thing. So it looks pretty balanced. And like you said, the least thing is probably the rice.
Yeah, just a handful. I mean, that's all you need. I mean, I feel like especially certain cultures, we kind of OD on the rice, and
Absolutely.
rice can be, those carbs, they could really add up really quickly. It's really, rice is very calorically dense. And so that's why it's a great
Right.
food for poor people because when you don't have a lot of money, um, you get some rice that'll really, build up and make that and stretch out that meal. You know what I'm saying? The problem
Right.
is we've been
Yep.
ODing on the rice and getting a lot of
Definitely.
calories from that really calorically
Yeah,
dense.
I mean, like you said, because of the fact that most of us are so restricted financially, we've adopted this rice heavy diet, and yeah,
Yeah. And it's okay if, when things are scarce, but the problem is things are not as scarce as we think it is. People will have lots of rice, lots of meat, lots of beans, and then have
right,
another meal, an hour, 2 hours later. That builds up pretty quickly. You're talking about probably 1,000 calories per meal. That's a lot.
yep,
So you don't need that much. Really, it's like if you ever just get a handful, what you like a palm and put that in, you'll see like, oh, you're satisfied. You didn't really need, an entire pot of rice. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Nah, you're right, because we cook them
Oh
big ass
yeah,
pots of
big time,
rice.
big time. Yellow rice.
Big ass
with,
pot of
all
rice.
the fucking beans, all the seasoning. That's the other thing, we kind of OD on that season.
The pork in
Oh,
there, the
oh,
chicken
everything
in
is in there,
there.
and
You know what I'm saying?
and this is why we have, the obesity issues, because we don't OD with it. You don't really need that much. I mean, if you want to season it the way you want to season it, I say that's fine. But still, whatever your palm is, so whatever your palm is should be enough, in general. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, it's like that. Them serving spoons that we have. We don't. It's like one
Yeah,
spoon.
them serving spoons be like crazy big, the whole size. And I'm just saying, just the palm is enough for your plate. You know what I mean? And give it a try. And if, hey, you know what? If you feel like you're hungry a half hour later, there's always more rice in the pot. You know how we cook. You know what I'm saying? Then go get some more.
Right.
But I challenge you just to
Absolutely.
have like a palm full of rice and see how you feel. You probably won't be. You probably be satisfied. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's it. Y'all heard it here. New challenge. The rice palm
Rice
challenge.
palm it.
You know what I'm saying?
Rice palm it.
You know what I'm saying? Dre about to start the rice palm
Right.
challenge. About to have mad people put in a palm of rice.
That's it. Whatever that measure, take that out, boom. As long as it's a
You know what I'm
palm,
saying?
you can eyeball it. You know the size of your hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a pretty
Right.
big dude. I got big palms. That's all I need. But if you're a smaller person, you don't need
Right.
my size palm. You need your size palm. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Definitely got to use your own
Mhm.
palm.
All right.
But I dig that. All right. Well, let's keep it moving. So one of the things you wanted to speak about was lists.
Yeah.
LISS. And you broke it down to me last time we
Right.
spoke. But let's break it down for the folks. What is LISS?
Lists. Light interval or intensity. I'm sorry. Light intensity, steady state cardio. So light intensity.
Right.
So what does that mean? There's various things. It basically, you're walking, you're bike riding, your heart
Right.
rate isn't going up that much. Maybe 110, something like that, 120. It might go up a little bit, but your heart rate isn't going crazy. It's not medium intensity, it's really light. So it's the intensity of, hey, you could have a conversation with somebody and you could do it for an hour and you won't feel incredibly spent, right? So you go on for a
Right.
walk for an hour, you just feel like, oh man, not to say you won't feel it, that you walked an hour, but you're not huffing and puffing at the end of the activity, right? So it's light.
Right.
It's light. Light intensity, steady state. You're going pretty much the same speed the entire time you're doing it. And the reason why I mention this because
Right.
currently we're both pretty much doing light intensity right now, for various reasons. You've been doing a ton of walking. I've been biking, which is also light intensity.
Yep.
Cycling can be high intensity if you're like racing or something. I'm not doing that. I'm pretty
Right.
much commuting from one place to another. I enjoy riding my bike, especially with the sun out. I love outdoor activities. So we've both been doing these light intensity, steady state cardio activities. And I was just kind of checking in to see how yours is doing. And then I can tell you how mine's is doing.
Yeah, I think it's a good conversation, especially because we always talk about high intensity and medium intensity. So here we are discussing low intensity for
Right.
once. And who knows how much longer we'll be doing low intensity, because I know I got 2 weeks left before I can, my tattoo is healed enough to be able to do the things we do. And I can't fucking wait to get back on medium intensity. Like, I'm looking at cats, like I'm walking bridges and walking to streets of New York and all this shit. And I'm seeing cats jog past me. And I'm like, damn it, you bastards.
So why don't you
I want to be
you
jogging.
explain to the audience why you've been doing low intensity, steady state for the past few months or few weeks, whatever it's been.
So it's been a month now. Tomorrow actually makes a month. By the time this comes out, it'll be more
Uh-huh.
than a month. So I got some tattoo work done. I said it a while ago, but I'll,
Yep.
I'll reiterate. So I got some tattoo work done. I have a half sleeve I've been working on, and my tattoo artist did a bunch of work on it, like touch ups and stuff like that. One of the parts really needed a lot of work, so he really went in. So it's almost like having a new tattoo. And when you have a new tattoo, the first 6 weeks you cannot saturate it in sweat. You cannot saturate it in water for long periods of time. And then for like the first, I think 6 months, I could be wrong about the time, but for a hot minute, you're not supposed to be like directly taking long sunbathing
Mhm.
sessions. Like you're not supposed to be out on the beach soaking up
Right.
sun. Um, so even sometimes when I go out for like a walk or stuff like that, I'll throw on like a baggy tank top in the summer. I like hitting the beach. I've avoided all of that for the past month, and summer's coming to an end, so I probably won't be doing any of that this summer. But that's why I switched. So I have not been doing any jogging, any elliptical. I've just been walking a fuck ton. So I said a couple episodes ago, my new goal is until I can get back to cardio the way we like to do it, I'm going to be doing low intensity. I'm going to be walking. My goal is to walk 20K steps according to my fitness tracker 3 to 5 days a
Nice.
week. Really, the goal is 5 days, but the idea is that at minimum, I'm doing this three
Hmm.
days a week.
Yeah.
So I have not hit 5 days every week. I have been maintaining the three. So every week I've done at least 3 days. There have been a couple times when I've hit five. This week I should be able to hit 4 or 5 as well. Because I already did it Sunday. I did like 26,000 steps, I think it was. So right now my tracker's at like 9,000. After we record, I'm gonna go walk a bunch. I should be able to hit my 20K if all goes as planned. So that's what I've been doing. And in if you wanted to know what that is in measurements, it's between 9 and 11 miles. Speed and different things change the measurements, but for the most part, it's 9 to 11
Right.
miles.
So
Um, so that's what I've been doing on a regular
yeah, I was gonna
basis. Go
say,
ahead.
so if you um did high intensity or medium intensity and it sweated and it could get an infection, I'm guessing, right? Like it can get infected.
Yeah, so it could get infected. Now, not so much now that I'm at week
Okay.
4, but it does affect the healing process because it's too much liquid, too much salt from your
Hmm.
sweat. And it's also like if I just ran to catch the train real quick, like I said, oh, the train's coming, let's run. It's not, it should be fine. But because of the way we sweat so much when we're doing cardio, it would be too
Okay.
much. Same thing, like if I take a shower, it's fine. I'm as long as it's not a long period. Like now, if I went for a swim, the chemicals in the pool, along with that amount of water, that would damage the healing
Right.
process
Makes sense.
as well. So that's why I'm not
Yeah,
doing any of
this
that.
makes sense. Okay, so how has it been going? Like, yeah, we talk, off pod, and I see your results, um, and that is a lofty goal. Between 3 to 5 days of doing 20K steps. Sometimes I know you do 20K. Sometimes you do a little bit more. So how doing all this walking? How has it been?
It's been interesting, especially because I have to kind of set a goal sometimes of like, all right, I'm gonna have to walk this much right now. So for example, sometimes when I have my daughter, I don't have a lot of steps the day I take her home. We're pretty much lounging in the house all day until I take her back to her mom. So that day is probably my most challenging day when I take her home, because when I take her back to mom, I probably am only like 5,000 steps, and it's now the
Mm-hmm.
evening. So now I've got to get a day's worth of steps in just a
Mm.
few hours. So that's my most challenging
And
day.
so how do you do that? How do you do that?
Before
So it's like, okay, you gotta get all these steps in and the day is closing out. What are some things you do?
I pretty much just walk like 2 hours straight. That's the easy answer. So for example, a couple of times I've dropped her off in Brooklyn. and then I've walked. It's by the Williamsburg Bridge where I drop her off, and then I've walked all the way to my job by Central
Mm,
Park. I don't want to give the
yeah.
exact address, but it comes out to be like 6 miles,
Right.
7 miles. So instead of where it's like, I worked, right, exactly. Instead of it being where I worked a little bit, walked home, maybe ran errands, and slowly collected steps during the day, now I've got to try to squeeze all of these steps in one
Right.
small chunk of time. Um, so I've walked the 6 miles. Me and you had a discussion off pod. It took me like a little under 2 hours, also because I wasn't
Right.
racing, right? I was kind of medium pace
Mhm.
walking. And then, there's lights and I'm walking a bridge and different challenges. So, it takes a little bit of time. Another day,
Having fun out there.
sure,
Yeah.
having fun. Um, another day, I did a little bit of a mix. So I had to go do something in Harlem. I had to bring somebody a body butter. A lot of you know I have a skincare company, a body butter company. I had to bring someone a body butter in Harlem. So I dropped her off, grabbed a snack, walked across the Williamsburg Bridge, and then I took the train up to Harlem. And then I walked that, I think it was like 5.5 miles from Harlem, where I was in Harlem, down to my job. So if you were following us and you saw the nighttime walk in Harlem I put up, that's what I'm
Yeah.
referencing. So I walked it
Yeah,
that way. It's challenging because it takes up a lot of time. That's the first thing. So those nights it's challenging, or those days is challenging because now that's the rest of my time. It's easier for me on days where I'm kind of doing things throughout the
Mhm.
day because I'm able to slowly collect. And then if at the end of the night I see, oh, I'm a little behind, well, I just walk a little extra
Yeah.
and say, okay, I'm going to walk an extra mile or two, which is like another 20 to
Yeah.
40 minutes. It's not
Yeah.
horrible.
That's
But to say, hey, I'm going to walk for the next 2 hours and then I'm going to try to recover because after walking 2 hours, you're kind of tired. Uh, that is a bit more challenging. When we do elliptical or when I go for a jog, we're talking 30, 40 minutes. Uh, Sometimes even 20 minutes. It depends on what the task is that day. This is a much longer stretch of
yeah.
time. So that is one of the challenges for me as well as a busy guy to say, hey, the next 2 hours and change, I have to just focus on this thing. That's a big task for me because I can't do much else. Like you said, maybe I can call you and say, all right, let me talk to Dre about what we're going to do next week on the
Right.
pod, or, what clips we're going to put up. But I can't do any other things that I may want to do or have to do.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest challenge. As far as physically, my legs have been really sore and
Mm.
tired. So I've just been trying to um, sit when I can. If I can sit and rest, then I do. I kind of feel like now my legs want those
Yeah.
moments more. Now there are more times when my legs are like, "Yeah, can you just put us up? Can we just have our feet up and relax
Yeah.
for a little while?" Um, and honestly, I'll be honest, I have not been stretching, and I probably
Yeah.
should be. Um, I have been doing zero
Yeah.
stretching, and I probably should have been
Yeah.
stretching. So I'll be honest about that. That's my fault. I probably should be stretching. I have not
Yeah.
been at all.
Look,
But I'm okay. I do find like some days I'm really tired. Like obviously those days when I'm walking fucking 15,000 steps in one shot, yeah, I'm tired after that. It's a whole day's work in 2 hours.
yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Mhm.
Oh, okay. No, your whole thing shook. I
Yeah, I
wasn't
hit
sure.
it by mistake.
Sometimes you hit it by mistake.
Story of my life.
Anyway, story of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those days it's a bit more challenging. I'm a bit more tired, I feel like, all right, I need rest. But I also find when I space it out throughout the day, I feel more
Mm,
energetic because I'm more excited. I'm less spent
yep.
physically. So for example, sometimes like I'll finish off my night, and a lot of y'all know I work overnight. So I'll finish up, it'll hit midnight, and then I'm at work while a new batch of steps starts coming in. And I'll find that because the night before or the day before I stretched it out, I didn't do that big chunk in one shot. Now in the morning when I get off work, I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll take an hour walk right
Right.
now. Maybe instead of taking the train to the other train, I'll walk to that
Yeah.
other train. Maybe I'll get 2-3 miles in
Yeah.
right now. And so I've done that a couple times. I've sent it to
Yeah.
you like, oh look, walk from my job down to such and such. So sometimes I do that as well.
No,
What's
I
up?
was
I know
gonna
you had a
say,
question.
I just think it's amazing because it's so counter culture to New York City, right? Because New York City is fast pacing, everything is efficient.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the New York minute and how much you can get done in so much little time. And of course,
Right.
we came up in that culture, and you're still, you're in it.
Absolutely.
And for someone to just
Hmm.
be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the slow way, you know, and
Right.
walk like basically half the city. I mean, you're walking from Brooklyn all the way to Midtown Manhattan, pretty much, over the
Yeah.
bridge.
No,
That
it's.
is,
I mean, really, I'm walking like to the Upper
yeah,
West Side.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow. You know what I mean? Like once that's a lot of walking. Um, when a train could get you there in like 5-10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's like boom,
Right.
express. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think it's amazing that you chose to do that, and you have this like experience that says, hey, you know what, let me make this decision to actually slow things down and to get this exercise in this kind of like particular way, um so I can reach my goals. I think that's just dope. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. I just thought, like, I wanted to be able to make up for the cardio
Yeah.
sessions I'd be losing. I know I've been struggling with consistency, and I know it's been hard for me to be on point with fitness regularly. So I didn't want to just take a 6 week break and do
Right.
nothing. And so that's why I spoke to you and asked you, it was already my thought, yo, maybe I should just walk a fuck ton. And when I asked you, you immediately was like, oh, son, just go
Yeah.
crazy walking. You like doing
Yeah.
that shit anyway. So that's kind of why I made a conscious decision to do this. Um, it has not been easy. Like I said, it's hard to say I'm going to take this extra time and walk. There are days when I'm like, man, I want to go watch this movie that
Right.
just came out, or I want to go chill with Dre, or whatever the fuck I want to do. And I have to prioritize fitness, and I feel like it's been a good thing. I have been slacking on the weights. I have not done weights in a month, partially because I don't have as much free time. Like, I'm walking and it's taking a lot of time. So I don't really have the same amount of time I normally have, and I'm still doing all the other things I do. So it's been hard to get into the gym, to hit the weights. But I do want to get back into the weights. I do not want to stop doing the weights because, I have other goals. But I'm prioritizing cardio because right now I'm trying to cut fat. So I know that cardio is going to cut into that fat and is going to help me with that goal. So since that's the number one goal,
Yeah.
that's been the decision I've decided
Yeah.
to
And
make.
as far as like advice, I don't really say advice, but something that someone can take from this is like, no one is saying, hey, won't you walk 2 hours? Because once again, like that's not something you're used to. But I know you also
Right.
done things, and this is what other people can do. It's like, well, if you know you're getting off at 125th, and you say to yourself, well, I'm gonna get off at 110th and walk the rest of the
Right.
way. These are these little things that you can do to add more steps or to find exercise, because so many people that
Absolutely.
I can't make it to the gym. I can't make it to the gym. Okay, that's fine. But you have a Metro card and you're on public transportation. Rather than getting off your stop, try getting off at the stop before or two stops before. Walk down Broadway,
Right.
especially if it's a nice day. Walk down Broadway, get your exercise that way.
That's what I
Yeah.
normally do. Normally when I walk, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a I'm gonna just walk one specific avenue. So like I've walked Broadway, I've walked different blocks, and I did exactly what you said. The day I went to Harlem, I walked over the bridge because I knew if I just took the train up to Harlem, I would not hit the 20K.
Right.
I would not. I knew I would need as much as possible, but I had time constraints. So I said, all right, I'm gonna walk the bridge, and then when I get to the other side, I'll walk to Delancey and hop on that F train and start making my way uptown.
You was wilding. Now let's talk about the let's let's talk, because I mean, I think it's dope. Don't get me wrong, but it's to me. I think it's dope because it's wild. Like that's me. You know what I mean? Like when someone says, "Yo,
right.
I walked from Williamsburg to basically West Side, at the Upper West Side." That's wild. Like what? Yeah, I did 2 hours. I walked over the bridge, and it's like I can see myself doing that because I like those kind of challenges myself. It's not something I would recommend to the average person, but I think it's dope. You know what I mean? Like, go for it. But it's wild though. You know what I mean? But
I mean, it depends how you look at it. Like the bridge is not that much. The bridge, most of the bridges in New York, they're only like a mile, mile and a half. So to say you walk the bridge in New York,
and people do that all the time. People be like, "Oh, let's walk the bridge," but then that's it. They're not going to say, "Okay, let's walk the bridge, and then let's go right up Broadway and just keep going till we go to the Upper West Side." That's not going to happen. People are not doing it.
I want my 2K Sam. Just follow your nose.
You know what I mean? People are not going to do that. But what's wild, another part of it that's wild, because I know you spoke about the physical part, but what about the wear and tear on them sneakers, son? Go into that for a second.
Oh, yeah. I mean... you made a joke off pod last time. You was like, son, you ain't get those Firestones?
What about the wear and tear of them sneakers, kid? The sneakers is broke. What happened
to over? My favorite pair of sneakers broke, son. I had these one pair of sneakers for probably like 11 years, and I was out walking. I was like, yo, what's wrong with my shoe? I feel something going on down here. I don't know what's up. And then I went and lifted up my sneaker, and shit was hanging by a thread on both sides. I'm like, no, not my favorite. Why you had to do that to my favorites, though? I got other sneakers you could have broke. Why my
throw
favorites?
That picture up there. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, man, them 20K steps, something had to pay the price. Something had to pay the price, man. But, I mean, we talk about that, too. It's like, I mean, come on, they're sneakers. I mean, they did what they had to do, but this is the price.
I mean, 11 years. It was,
they served you well.
To do.
You know what I mean?
They served me well.
So it's like, all right, but that's part of it. It's like, okay, you're gonna be doing all this walking. It's gonna have an impact on your sneakers and
right. And my suggestion is, if anybody hears this, they're like, oh, I'm gonna walk the bridge. Oh, I'm going to go for an hour walk. Yo, take water with you. Because there have been times when I'm walking and I'm like...
Parched.
I need water. I need water now. So I've had to run into stores real quick, try to get a quick water and keep walking.
Yeah. All right, that's what's up, man. Yeah, that's what's up. But
so let's flip it to you now. You've been biking everywhere.
Yeah.
So what's your normal walk? I mean, what's your normal bike?
For me, so the whole reason, right? It's like, well, I've had car troubles, and I normally will take my car to the gym or to this place, to that place. So I've had car troubles, and I'm like, well, I'm like, yo.
Only car troubles?
Car troubles, which turn into money troubles. And it's like, I had...
No, I'm joking because you snapped the
microphone troubles.
Laptop
troubles. Light troubles.
Just a troubled man right now.
Dark clouds right now in my life. But,
the dark cloud of the Sith?
But, my style has always been, when I see adversity, I turn that shit into opportunity. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to be riding the car right now. My bike is still there. It's doing what it got to do. It's like my old reliable.
Right.
The weather's nice. I'm going to start riding the bike. Now, remember, I said a few pods ago, I had changed my goal that, you know,
Yep.
the way things are when it comes to fitness, you either gonna prioritize building muscle or building weight. You can't do them both at the same time. One has to take priority. You can do them both, but one has to come first. So I switched it and
Right.
said, okay, I'm going to prioritize burning fat, but my muscle is still going to be there. And so that's pretty much what I've been doing is saying, okay, I'm going to bike as many places as I can to try to get in 30, 45, or 60 minutes of cardio on a daily basis as much as I could and still work out. So what I've been doing is just taking the bike to the gym. And so obviously that's the warm
Yep.
up. Do whatever strength training routine I have for that day and then just bike on back, And so I'm usually getting
Right.
between 45 minutes to 60 minutes of cardio pretty much on a daily basis. And
Right.
it's been feeling good, man. It's like I love it. Now, I don't have the same strength when I walk into the gym because I just spend all this time on the bike. But for me, that's okay. It's like
Right.
if I have to go down 10 pounds on resistance, so what?
Right.
90% of my muscle is still seeing this thing as a challenge. It's not like I'm just doing light, easy weight. It's like, all right,
Right.
I, make it 10 pounds lighter. Go in. You know what I mean? So I've been having a,
Right.
a, a great time with that. And then just to, up it some more, I've also been commuting via the bike to work, you know? So I,
Yep.
go to work on a bike and, that's also been enjoyable, just biking to work. And there's something about when people see you biking to work, you know, it inspires other people because they're just like, wait a minute, you
Right.
you rode your bike here? I'm like, yeah, like they see you first, like covered in sweat. It's like, whoa, you rode your bike here. It's so hot outside. I'm like, yeah, I
Right.
did. So right there, I let you know it could be done, right? What I'm saying?
Right.
People are like, whoa, yeah, it could be, you could do it, it's, it's
Right.
just take your time, one pedal at a time, just like we're walking and, and
Right.
do it.
Right.
And then from there, I'll ride to the store sometimes. I ride to go see friends, like whatever. You know what I mean? If
Right.
I look out the window and I'm like, oh, it's nice. I'm gonna take the bike there. Uh,
Right.
and it's been pretty good. I've been slowly. I can see like the fat is coming down. And as I predicted, I haven't lost a lot of muscle. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't lost much muscle, but I have lost some fat. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do. Is like if I knew if I keep going to the gym, I'm still stimulating my muscle, so it's not going to just go
Right.
flat. Even though I might not put on new muscle, putting on new muscle that's a whole nother, podcast. So
Right.
I'm not putting on new muscle, but I am maintaining what I have.
I'm about to say, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I'm maintaining
maintaining,
what I
right?
have, which is a pretty decent amount of muscle, if I do say so myself, and I do.
If I do say so
You know
myself.
what I mean? So it's like, yeah, just and then it's so because it is low intensity, it just feels good. I mean, it's just like an you kind of get to see the world. I recommend to everybody find some sort of outside workout, especially, and I don't mean to, make it sound like I'm anti anybody, but especially if you're a person of color, like the sun really does a lot for us. Certain people, and everybody could wear sunscreen and all that. I'm not saying that black people shouldn't wear sunscreen and all that, but some might be more harmful than others. You know what I'm saying? And so just getting outside, you just get a different feeling. And I love the gym. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm in the gym almost every day. But if you can
Right.
find an outside exercise, an outside activity to do on a pretty frequent basis, maybe you can't do it every day, but every now and then when you can, you get a completely different feeling being out there, man. You just feel free, you feel less stress, you just feel like you're like, especially if you have a nice scenery, like nice scenery, I kind of like bike near the water. So there's like birds and just beautiful scenery, and it just de-stresses you.
Right.
I'm just like, man, and that sun
Yes.
on you, it just really
Yes.
feels good. And so,
Have you discovered any new spots?
yeah. I like to get lost a little bit. I like to like,
Yeah.
uh, you know, let me find this way. I'll listen to, it's weird. What I like to do is I'm listening to music. I have Google Maps on and I have Apple Maps on. And they don't always
Okay.
agree. So they're always like, one is like, yo, go right. And
Right.
Apple Maps is like, yo, trust me, you want to go left on this one. And I just be like, let's see. I don't know. Let's see what this one does. Right. Because the thing is, you get off the path a little bit, but eventually it'll take you where you want to go. It's just that one will
Right.
take a little bit longer, one will take maybe not as long. They both trying to figure out. They
Right.
don't really know what the hell they're doing. But for me, like that's okay. Like I don't mind getting lost a little bit just so I can find new routes and see new things that I haven't seen before. And look at,
Right.
wow, oh, I didn't know that house was over there, or I didn't know they had a pond right here. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, so and so's
Right.
church is over here.
Yeah.
Like you just start seeing new things. So I
Yep.
I kind of, like getting lost a little bit because it, makes me see different parts of the city that I haven't seen before. It's dope.
Right. So over here it's been a little bit of the same, but not getting lost. Like the thing in New York is, things change
Hmm.
all the time. So like you could be like, oh, I'm going to Dre's restaurant on Ninth and Broadway, and then you get there and it's like, oh, this is an arcade now.
Right.
I thought
Right.
this isn't
Right.
Dre's
Oh, they
restaurant
turned that into
anymore.
a coffee
Huh?
shop. Man,
That's
that's
weird.
crazy. Oh, they
Right.
put a bakery over
Right. So
here.
I'm walking
That's
and I'm just
nuts.
like, right. I'm walking and I'm like, donut pub over here. Oh, that's crazy, nigga. Is that a Cabbage Patch Kids Strange Things exhibit? What does that even
Right.
mean? All
Right.
right,
You
this
just,
is
yeah.
weird. And I'm just like, oh, now I'm taking pictures. Now it's an experience. Oh, let me send
Oh
this one to
man.
Dre. Oh, let me send this one to
Yeah.
Dashing
Yeah.
D. Oh, so and so might like this one. I'm just sending
Yeah.
cats mad
That's
pictures
what's
on my
up.
walk. And they're like, where is
Yeah.
that? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's on
Yeah. You taking
University
taking all
and
that
Ninth.
scenery.
Check that
I'm
out. And they're like, how did you even find that? I'm like, yeah, I'm walking Broadway. I'll send
Yeah,
you my
yeah.
stats later.
I'm sort of a bird watcher, like in an amateur way, So I just love birds. Always have since a kid, and so I'll just like take some
Nice.
weird way and just see different types of birds. I mean, sometimes it's where I'd be like some
Mm.
like wild chicken is just on the road. Like, what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody drives down this street. You're crazy. Like, all
All
right.
right. I'm looking at you like I'm the safe one.
Right.
What are you
I know
doing?
where I'm at. You know where you are.
You're in
Right.
danger.
Exactly. And so yeah, you just see stuff like that. Like, oh, that's like, yes, you see unusual things or things you didn't know was there. And so you're
Right.
discovering more of the place that you live. So it's so
Right.
many advantages for exercising outside. So if you can, man, I recommend it so much. I know we like gyms. I love the gym. And once again, I go to gym. I was at the gym last night. But you know, if you can get some kind of outdoor activity, man, it's gonna feel so good. So I recommend everybody finding outdoors.
Yeah, it's just a new
Yeah.
experience. And, I say all the time, I hate being on the treadmill. I like jogging outside. It's been weird because this is a much slower
Yeah.
pace. But I'm just like, I'll throw an album on. I'll call someone I know I can chat with for a nice
Yep.
little minute. Uh,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'll just enjoy the scenery. Just like, oh, word, this store
Yeah.
closed. Some of the stuff we was just talking
Yeah. And
about.
another
So
thing I noticed,
yeah, I agree.
because I do a lot of strength training, legs and all that,
Hmm.
because my legs are more powerful now, I can go way faster than I have, years ago when I
Oh,
used
of
to bike,
course.
so I haven't been biking like this for maybe like 9 years. And now that I'm like,
Hmm.
oh man, like my legs are so much bigger now and way stronger now, I can really get that bike going. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I realize I'm going way faster. It's taking me way less time to get to point A to point B than it has before, and I could feel
Right.
it in my quads and I feel it in my core, just sitting there and like getting that
Hmm.
going.
Yep.
Um, and so, I recommend cycling, man. Like if you, want to kind of get back out there again, man, get a bike, get a bike, get cycling again, and there's more bike routes now than there was like years ago
Oh yeah,
than
than
ever
ever.
than there ever was
Yeah.
before. So that's like that's all now we have so much of these devices, right? We're just like, yo, okay, show me the bike routes. And it just okay, this is and
Yep.
then I've been discovering new bike routes. Like, whoa, they put a bike route here. They added a bike bridge. That's
Right.
crazy. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So and I like biking because I can get to see so much more of the city. I like walking too, don't get me wrong, but
Of course.
biking, because you're going a little bit faster, you can see a lot more, So,
Uh huh.
man, yeah, if you can get yourself a bike, doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to spend $3,000 on it. You can get yourself a $200 bike and have fun,
Right.
you know? Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So real quick, how are you feeling physically now with this change? Because this is a lot different than the Olympic
Yeah,
ride.
yeah. It like I said, it feels good because I feel the muscles differently. So I definitely feel pressure on the quads. Now sometimes I might feel something on my knee, and that's when I know, you know what, I'm gonna take a day off. If I feel pressure on
Okay.
my knees because I know I've been biking a lot. Let's say I did like an hour bike ride, which is for me, an hour bike ride is probably like 10 miles, 12 miles. That's a lot. So I'll just be like,
That is a
all
lot.
right, I feel it in my knees, day off. Um,
Right.
that's the only like physical, like sort of pain I kind of like feel. Um,
Okay.
other than,
But you also mentioned your
yeah, and then
core.
in my core, it just feels tighter. It's kind of like doing planks. Remember when everybody was planking for that was like a thing,
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yep.
like doing planks because you're on this bike and you're using your core to hold yourself up. And so I definitely feel my core more being engaged as
Right.
I'm biking, you and then
Gotcha.
honestly, this is the truth too. There's an element of danger to it. You know what I mean? It's that wild factor. You know
Yes,
what I'm
there
saying? It's
is.
like be careful and be on if you're going to ride outside, be careful, wear your helmet, have your lights on your bike, try to be seen. But even with all that stuff,
Right.
there is an element of danger to it. So I kind of
Yeah.
like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is crazy. Oh, I got,
Right.
bobbing and weaving. Like, not like the like New York cats on the bike. They take mad risk. I'm like, yo, I would never do that. These guys be
And some of them is
yo,
so
they be
unnecessary.
wilding, kid. Like,
Like there's a bike
nah,
lane right
nah,
there. They are
nah.
not in the bike lane. They're like this in
Traffic
and out of traffic.
between trucks, semis. Like, y'all cats is wilding. This truck can't stop in time. They don't care. Whoa.
Right.
They be
Right.
wilding. No brakes. Like, what's wrong? Why would you not put brakes on it? I don't know.
Right. I don't know. Ricky Bobby. You
Exactly.
know what I'm
Just
saying?
whatever. So I would never, I'm
Ricky
not at
Bobby.
that level and I'm not trying to be on that level. I take
Right.
bike routes. I like to be on a street that has the sign, like you said, the lane right there, letting cars know,
Yep.
expect bike riders
Right.
here. This is a bike lane.
Right.
You're going to see bike riders. So
Right.
you don't come out of nowhere, because
Right.
I mean, I've seen videos, some of them cats in New York, they'll be riding on Broadway Skip. They'll jump on the interstate, they'll jump on the West Side Highway for a mile, then jump back off, be in the Bronx. I'm like, y'all cats is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So no, I would never say that. But there's still an element of
Yep.
danger anytime you're riding in the street, even if you are in a designated bike lane, you know, people
Yeah.
make silly choices.
Because nothing says the car gives a
Right.
fuck.
Right. And so you have to still
Yeah.
compensate for other people. You have to compensate for walkers, for cars.
Right.
So you're kind of like, you still you gotta be fully engaged. You can't sit there and be like, I wonder what's going on with this person. No, you have to be
Right.
engaged. It's one of the reasons, like you were saying, like, oh, why you like the elliptical? Remember when we had that conversation? It's like, oh, I'm fully engaged. Like, I'm into it. I'm switching up and down, blah, blah, blah. That's what riding a bike is. You have to be in the moment. Clear your mind of everything else. Don't think about nothing else.
Right.
You got to be looking all around you, seeing what's going on. And because the activity keeps you fully engaged, that's what makes it fun. And so when you get to your destination, you're like, oh, no, that was dope. Little, it's like a little video
wild.
game, real life.
I almost died on fifth,
Right.
but I'm good.
I got another man.
Right.
Right. Got a bonus.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Right. All right, great. That was a long but good talk.
We can move on.
All right. So I was at the gym a while ago. Probably the last time I was at the gym or the time before that. And there was these two young cats at the gym. They were definitely probably they were young adults, 19, 18, 20, 21, 22, somewhere in that range. And every time that they did an exercise, no matter what machine they went on, no matter what machine they were on, they would slam it. Every rep, they would slam it. I'm just hearing the weights, bow, 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 bow. And so I was doing the fly, but I was doing it for back, right? Reverse fly. And it just so happened, about 6 feet from me, who comes over? The two young guys. And I said, man, I gotta ask. I'm gonna try to do this in the least confrontational way I can, but I have to ask these gentlemen, what the fuck are they doing? So I took off a headphone and I asked them. I said, hey guys, I'm not trying to intrude. I'm just very curious. I hope you don't mind me asking, but I'm very curious. How come when you guys are doing your reps, you're allowing it to slam? You're not slowing down. And so it was two guys. It was a young black dude and a young white dude. And the young black dude started to answer, and the white dude cut him off. And he said, so the young black dude said, well, basically what we're trying to do is, and immediately the guy who's doing the reps, which that's a whole nother topic, but the guy doing the reps cuts him off and goes, well, what happens is sometimes when you're lifting, I'm going to try hard not to laugh while I say this, but he says sometimes while you're lifting, it's a little too hard. It's hard to finish your set or sometimes even the rep. But when you let it hit, that bounce back, it kind of gives you a little bit of extra oomph. It kind of gives you a little extra. And so we were taught, that's why you do it, because it bounces and you catch it on the way back and just keep going. And I said, oh, okay. That's interesting because I was taught the exact opposite. I was taught you never let the weight slam. In fact, if it's too heavy, then you slow down a little bit. So when you get to that start point, you can slowly start going back. And he's like, yeah, that's only if you want to get the lactic acid flowing. That's really for cats who's doing endurance. And then he goes like this, we trying to bulk up. I said, oh, okay. I said, I'm not trying to tell you cats what to do. I was just curious because, the OGs taught me some things very differently. And I've seen y'all as I've been working out. Y'all have been doing that quite often.
Oh, man.
He says, yeah, that's why. I said,
oh man.
Okay.
Oh, man. See,
I know this is a pet peeve of yours.
It is because,
and I have to be honest, they're just breaking the fucking machines.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay.
And
let's just get that out the way. It's horrible because these machines don't belong to you. It belongs to all of us. And if you break it, then it's over. Now we can't enjoy that machine. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's the most fucked up part about it, is that you're being very selfish by doing that. Yeah. I'm not going to even say whether it works or not. We can just put that to the side for a second. you engaging in the weights that way can destroy the machine, and now none of us can enjoy it. And when you come back,
And this was every
yeah,
rep
every
on
machine.
every
So
machine.
yeah, and
they
when you come back
used.
to the gym, now even you can't enjoy it because you broke it.
Right.
So
Right.
we have to learn etiquette, gym etiquette, fairness for this gym is a public place. Everyone, it's for everybody to enjoy. That's why
Right.
it's one of my biggest pet peeves, because it's a selfish fucking act. I wish you would have handed out,
Right.
a card or something like that. Say, hey, you know what, guys? I do a fitness
Call my man.
podcast. Y'all should listen to it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so here's the other part that might surprise you. Honestly, he's right technically or scientifically that when the
Okay.
weights bounce and they bounce back sort of like a ball, it's giving you a little bit of a lift. He's right. That's scientifically what's happening. He's wrong in a sense of that's not what you do to get bigger. If he's saying, hey, I'm trying to get swole, I'm trying to get big, then you don't want help
What he said.
bringing it up. You want the muscles to work on their own. You want to go
Right.
slow and controlled. The more you have to control the weight, the harder it is on your muscle.
So that's what I told him when I was trying to explain it to him, and he's like, nah, that's only for
No.
endurance. We want that
He's
little
actually
extra.
flipped it. So somebody probably told him the right thing, and in his mind he flipped it. Endurance is doing what he's doing. He's going as fast as he can to just get the weight up. Just get it up. Don't matter. Just get the weight up. That's an endurance exercise. That's speed. Endurance is speed. He flipped it in his mind, because if you're talking about getting big, you want to engage all the fibers. Let's say he's doing chest, just for example. You don't want to bang the weight. You want to go nice and slow out, and then on that weight coming back, you're bringing the weight down. You're controlling it. So you're getting the eccentric and decentric, if you want to be scientifically, you want to use those words, like whatever. I don't really care. I'm not trying to press anybody, but I know what it's a vocabulary, whatever. So it's like on the deceleration, it takes control. The muscle is still working. Yes, it's a lot to bring it out, but it's a lot to bring it in. We've had this conversation before, right? I used the example of the
recently,
rocket,
yep.
right? It's like the Tesla rocket goes up. It takes a lot of fuel to get that rocket down. But if we're going to save the rocket, we still need fuel to control the deceleration to get it to go exactly where we want. Precision. That's what building muscle is. Not only using a lot of gas to bring it out, you're using some gas to bring it in with control. The slower you can do that, the better. That builds muscle. If you're doing it fast, that's endurance. You don't really care about building muscle. You want to get through speed. That's circuit training. That's speed lifting. If you want to, people do that. All right, 30 seconds. Okay, go to the next one. 30 seconds. Okay, you're not building muscle. Building muscle is a slow, methodical process. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get big. That's what big dudes do. You build strong muscle by going slow. So he actually, I feel like if I had to bet, someone probably told him what I'm saying now, but he switched it in his head.
Yeah.
So he's probably say he's 19. Maybe somebody told him this at 15. You're a 15-year-old kid. You tend to fuck shit up. Maybe, all these kids now, they all want to smoke weed. So he probably fucked some shit up in his brain and reversed the actual fucking information he had, and he got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, it's the other way. You just it's the opposite. Slow it fucking down. That's how you build muscle.
I said, man, I got to talk to Dre about this shit.
Yeah, because that shit I know.
Like, what's funny is somebody called me, not when they were right next to me, but they were like, I don't know, 4 machines in front of me. I was doing seated back row. And somebody called me and it was like, hey, I just have a quick question. They just kept hearing those weights. Bam, 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 bam. They're like, should I call you later? I was like, nah, I hear you. It's just loud in the gym. They were like, but what the fuck
It's the
is
dumbest.
that? And I was like,
Yeah,
it's young cats
it's a dumb
slamming
thing.
the
And
weights.
I could go so far as to say there are some exercises where you're supposed to slam things down. Like you ever see people with the medicine balls and just hitting it down and hitting it down. Um,
Yes.
I mean, that's good if you're like trying to use it for like aggression, like you're angry and you just need to slam something down. But in terms of building muscle, it's dumb. Why? Because it's going to take more muscle and more strength picking the thing up than it is slamming it down. You're better off picking it up and then lowering the weight. If you want to build muscle, you're better off going,
Right.
and then slowly bringing it down. You're going to use a lot more muscle. Bring it up and slamming it, you're not using hardly any muscle to do that. That's like an
Son,
exercise and being, temper tantrum shit, like a 2-year-old exercise or some shit, but
son, every machine. I said if Dre was here, he would
yeah,
lose
because
his
you're breaking
fucking
the
mind.
machines, bro. Like we all got to work out in here, like we're all in here, and I see it all the time, especially in,
Yeah, of course.
the thing about Planet Fitness is, hey, you know what? It's not expensive, right? It's a very,
Yeah.
you can get a good workout in there for a good price, Some might say a cheap price.
Yep.
I'm not going to call it cheap, but I would say it's not expensive. You know what I'm saying? It's for a
Right.
nice price. So, hey, because of that, we all have access to it, right? It's not $100 a month. It's not $200 a month, right? It's a
Nope.
very affordable,
Right.
not cheap, but affordable rate. We all can afford it. So because we all can afford
Right.
it, that means that we have to make sure we don't break things in this gym, because once you do, it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks for them to, replace whatever's broken on there. I mean, it
Yep.
must be thousands of people using that same equipment every day, so why would you destroy
Right.
it? You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just say if you see that again, and I think your approach was great, you wasn't like coming off as, I'm gonna tell you what to do. You really came off like, all right, hey, can I give you guys another perspective? Not saying you wrong or whatever.
Well, I didn't even do
Yeah.
that at first. Like at first, I purposely was like, I'm gonna try to tuck my tail and come off as nice
Right.
as possible, even though they're annoying
Right.
the fuck out of me. Because I knew one, they were young, and I could tell one of them was very
Mhm.
inexperienced, and two, young cats in the gym, they want to
Listen,
start a
man.
fight,
We
and I ain't come here to
right.
fight. I came here to
And
get
then
my
you know what the other
workout on.
thing is? You know what? Hey, we all been young. We all been young. And when you're
Of
young, you feel
course,
like you know everything. Nobody can tell you nothing.
and you're the king of
Yeah,
the
you
world.
know what I'm saying? You 15, you 19. I know everything already. And it's like, okay. That's why the way you came off was good. Like, okay, I'm not gonna attack y'all or feel like I
Thank you.
don't want y'all to feel like I'm attacking y'all. But I just wanna,
Right.
maybe try to enlighten you a little bit. Hey.
Yeah, and I let them talk for a long while, and then I was like, oh, that's interesting because the OGs taught me a
Right.
little differently.
Right.
And then I said, this what they and the young same thing, the young white cat still doing his sets, still slamming the
Yeah,
weights.
man.
Was like, nah,
Yeah.
and just started
Yeah.
responding. I was like, all
And
right,
that's
player.
why a lot of people don't like going to those kinds of gyms because, if
Yeah,
I go to the gym, I don't want to see 4 or 5 machines not working. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
right,
what? Yeah, that's broken. This is broken. Oh, you can't use that. That's broken. Oh, no, that we going to fix that next week. What the fuck? Now I got to choose. I have less choices because you had to be an
right,
asshole. Right? So,
yep,
myself, even though I do belong to Planet Fitness such as you, I have another gym that I go to. And it's like, not to say that it's better, but the people who go there work out
hmm
more. So that kind of shit
right,
you don't really see. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of like
right,
fitness trainers and shit like that there. So people are not going to do that kind of shit. It's just it's not in the culture, And I think that's the one thing that
right,
Planet Fitness is going to have to work on is their gym culture. So they big on no gymitation and don't
right.
yell when you're doing all that shit. Like that's good, but they're going to have to work on like the things that you just like they're talking about now, where it's like community. We got to work on community in here. We all in this bitch together. You know what I'm saying? So Planet Fitness, we're going to send something to y'all. Work on your community. You know what I mean? Work on the community aspect of it. You know what I mean? Get that in people's heads. Right. Hey, it's Planet Fitness. We all in this bitch together.
That's it.
Motorcycles.
That's the new motto. You know what I'm saying? We all in this bitch together.
No doubt.
That would be the flyest Planet Fitness ad ever.
You know what I mean? Give them that one for free. Y'all can take that.
You know what I'm saying? Just some cat slamming the fuck out the weights. Somebody walk over. Hey, don't break it. We all in this bitch together.
Hey, it's Planet Fitness. We're on this bitch together. And the patient go, oh, you're right. Okay, I get it now.
Slam it. We are in this bitch together. You're right. It's just an orgy in here.
Definitely is. You know what I mean? And for some of us, I know you the same way. That is our, you know, what is it? The fortress of solitude. That's our little fortress of solitude, man. Don't fuck up our fortress of solitude. That's my little me time.
Why you want to come in the man cave and break the TV?
You know what I'm saying? Break the remote. Nobody will know where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, don't fuck up the fortress of solitude for everybody, you know, because you want to do some stupid young shit, you know. And I'm not about throwing people out, but I am about, like you just did, trying to enlighten them, you know, because I don't want to see people, you know, because hey, they could be anywhere, right? They could be out there doing crazy, fucked up shit, but they chose to go to the gym. So as far as I'm concerned, you made a good choice with your time. You made a good choice. Yeah, you're here. You're in the gym. That's good. You're not out there causing havoc, doing stupid shit, you know, getting drunk, throwing shit at people. Or like I saw the other day on the news, some 15-year-old got his arm fucked up by riding the fucking train. You dumbass, you know? It's like, I think it's like, it's like his arm is all fucked up now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for what? Because you were surfing the fucking, you know, car, asshole. All right. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't get so mad at them, because you know what? You could have been you've been doing a lot of dumb shit. You're doing dumb shit in here, but it could be so much worse. So we gotta give them a piece of credit. Right. You made a good choice to come to the gym today. That's nice. Now that you're here, how about we learn how to respect the equipment so that everyone can enjoy it the way you're enjoying it.
All right, folks. That's it for us. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.